You think willpower is about pushing harder. But that's exactly why it's not working. The wealthy don't use force, they use focus. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you how they do it differently and why it changes everything. When most people think of willpower, they imagine it as a force used to overpower obstacles or push through resistance. But in the realm of wealth creation and manifestation, willpower plays a very different and far more refined role. True will isn't about forcing things to happen in the outer world. It's about maintaining command over your inner world. It's not about struggle or domination, but about directing your thoughts with precision and consistency. It's your ability to stay mentally fixed on what you want, even when the outside world tries to distract you or convince you otherwise. The greatest power of will lies in your capacity to hold a thought and not let it waver. To picture your goal clearly, vividly, with emotion, and to keep your mind aligned with that vision regardless of time, setbacks, or opinions. This kind of focus doesn't require force. It requires discipline, belief, and presence. When you understand this, you stop wasting energy trying to change the world by pushing it. You begin to change it by directing your focus. The use of willpower, then, becomes an act of quiet mastery. A way of guiding the creative forces of life not through noise, but through unwavering mental clarity. Real creation begins in the mind and only becomes visible when focus is sustained. Most people let their thoughts drift from one idea to another, pulled by doubt, distractions, or daily stress. But those who understand how wealth is truly formed know that focused thinking is the spark that ignites manifestation. It's not enough to want something for a moment or visualize it once and forget about it. The creative process responds to repetition, to the emotional energy you put behind your thoughts, and to how consistently you return to your chosen vision, especially when your current reality seems to show the opposite. Steady mental focus is the invisible force that begins shaping the formless into form. It's like shining a beam of light on one point long enough that it begins to burn through. Scattered attention diffuses that energy, but focused thought concentrates it, making it powerful enough to move unseen elements into place. Willpower is what helps you maintain that focus. It's the mechanism that brings your mind back to your intention, again and again, until that intention takes on a life of its own and becomes your new reality. One of the most common reasons people struggle to manifest what they want is because their mind is divided. They say they desire abundance, yet deep down they dwell on fear, lack, or doubt. This contradiction weakens their mental signal and slows everything down. Your mind can't fully move into directions at once. When you hold a vision of wealth but constantly second-guess whether it's possible or worrying about how it will happen, your energy gets split. That divided energy sends mixed messages to the very force you're trying to align with. The universe responds to certainty, not confusion. It's not enough to want something, you must be fully mentally committed to it. And that means learning how to eliminate thoughts that contradict your desire. This is where the real power of will comes in. Willpower isn't about force, it's about redirection. Every time your mind drifts into fear, you gently bring it back to your vision. Every time doubt arises, you return to belief, not once, but as many times as it takes. The more you practice this mental discipline, the more unified your thought becomes and the faster your life begins to reflect the clarity you've created within. One of the biggest misuses of willpower is trying to direct it at other people. Many individuals fall into the trap of attempting to influence others to act a certain way, agree with their plans, or help fulfill their goals. But the truth is, willpower was never meant to be used to control anyone else. Trying to mentally or emotionally steer people into doing what you want creates resistance. It doesn't align with the laws of creative energy and, more importantly, it distracts you from where your true power lies, your own thinking. You are not here to shape others to fit your desire. You are here to shape your own vision so clearly that the right people, opportunities, and circumstances flow into your experience naturally. That shift in focus changes everything. Directing your will outward drains your energy. But when you turn it inward toward the mastery of your own thoughts, you become magnetic. You no longer need to chase, persuade, or convince. You simply stay aligned, and the external world begins to reflect that alignment. Use your will to lead your mind, not to bend others. Because once your inner world is right, the outer world can't help but follow. When you're working toward a goal or visualizing the life you want, there will be times when nothing seems to be happening. No visible progress, no clear signs, That's when most people start to panic or worse, try to take control by forcing outcomes. But this is where willpower must evolve into trust. The creative process often works in silence. Things are being rearranged behind the scenes, circumstances, people, timing all aligning to bring your desire into form. But if you interrupt that process with fear, doubt, or desperation, you slow it down. Willpower helps you stay steady during the unseen stages. It allows you to remain faithful to your vision even when there's no evidence yet. It reminds you that your role isn't to make everything happen, it's to think, feel, and act from a place of alignment, while trusting that life is organizing the rest. You don't dig up a seed every day to check if it's growing. You water it. You give it light. You trust the process. Manifestation works the same way. The more you trust, the less you need to force. And the less you force, the more you receive naturally, and often faster than expected. Once your vision is clear and your intention is set, one of the greatest threats to your progress is outside interference. Not always in the form of obvious negativity, but in the form of subtle doubt, fear-based suggestions, and the influence of others who don't share your belief or focus. You might hear opinions like, "That's not realistic," or "Be careful, don't get your hopes up." Even well-meaning friends or family can unintentionally plant seeds of hesitation. And if you're not guarding your mind, those seeds can take root and weaken your focus. This is where willpower becomes a protective force. It allows you to filter what enters your mental space. It helps you reject ideas, conversations, or inputs that conflict with the abundance you're building from within. You don't have to be rude or defensive, you simply become selective. You prioritize mental clarity over social approval. You choose silence over unnecessary advice. And you keep returning to your inner image, even when others don't see what you see yet. Your mind is sacred ground. Keep it clean, focused, and unshaken. Because what you allow in will either nourish your dream or slowly pull it apart. The world around you may not yet reflect the wealth you desire, but the key to transformation is holding the thought of abundance consistently, even when your current reality tries to convince you otherwise. This is where your willpower becomes your anchor. It's easy to feel abundant when things are going well. But the real practice begins when circumstances look unchanged, or even the opposite of what you want. In those moments, most people let doubt creep in. But if you've trained your will, you'll know how to return to your inner vision again and again until it becomes stronger than what you see. You don't just think about abundance once and hope it shows up. You dwell in the feeling of it. You revisit the image daily. You speak, act, and make decisions from that internal state of wealth even before anything external has changed. This kind of mental repetition builds momentum. The more you hold to the idea of abundance, the more your subconscious begins to accept it as truth. And once your inner world fully believes it, your outer world must eventually follow. Use your will to protect that thought, nurture it, and refuse to release it. That's how wealth becomes inevitable. Manifesting wealth isn't about sitting back and waiting, it's about taking aligned action. But there's a big difference between inspired movement and forced effort. Willpower should guide your action, not make it heavy. That's where the principle of non-resistance becomes essential. When your actions are driven by fear, panic, or frustration, you're not in flow, you're in resistance. You're trying to make something happen instead of allowing it to unfold. This creates tension, and tension repels the very outcomes you're working toward. But when you act from a calm, confident place, trusting the process while doing what you can with what you have, you become magnetic. You're moving with the current, not against it. Willpower helps you stay steady in that calm. It reminds you that effective action isn't frantic. It's deliberate, purposeful, and in sync with your mental image. You don't need to force doors open. Stay aligned, stay available, and walk through the ones that open naturally. That's not passivity, it's powerful trust. Your role is to act without resistance, to move without anxiety, and to let results arrive through ease, not pressure. That's the mark of someone who doesn't just chase success, but attracts it. Like any form of strength, willpower can be developed with consistent training. You don't need to be born with strong focus, you can build it, step by step. And the stronger it becomes, the easier it gets to hold your vision, silence distractions, and stay emotionally grounded. Start with a simple daily focus practice. Set a timer for 5 minutes and concentrate solely on your goal. Visualize it clearly, feel it. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This builds mental stamina. Use affirmations that reinforce your intention and belief. Speak them aloud or write them down daily. Create an environment that supports clarity, remove clutter, limit noise, and protect your energy from draining influences. Also, follow through on small promises to yourself. Each completed task, even something as simple as making your bed, reinforces inner discipline. Willpower isn't about being rigid, it's about being consistent. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to hold your thought with calm, quiet power. The world doesn't need your control, it needs your clarity. One of the greatest truths in the science of getting rich is this: you're not here to manipulate the outside world, but to master your inner one. Because once your thoughts are aligned, the outer world begins to align with you. Willpower is not a tool for bending reality into shape. It's a practice of holding your vision with such steadiness that reality naturally begins to reshape around it. The more energy you spend trying to fix, chase, or convince things to happen, the more resistance you create. But when you take full ownership of your mental state, when you choose thoughts of abundance over doubt, and focus over fear, you begin to shape your world with ease, not effort. Let others be swept up in noise and confusion. You will be the one who moves with purpose and peace. Let them react, you'll respond with intention. Let them force, you'll attract. You're not here to overpower the world. You're here to direct your thought, trust the process, and watch life unfold in your favor. Because in the end, it's not about controlling the outside. It's about becoming uncheckable inside. This content has added value in your life. Let your like, enroll in the channel, and activate the notifications bell. If you want to give some suggestion, write in the comments. We strengthen our thoughts towards wealth. Thank you.